So apparently the San Diego Padres have been thinking about moving Fernando Tatis Jr. from shortstop to the outfield for the remainder of the 21 season just to try and limit the damage on his shoulder because as we know, he's hurt it 3 or 4 times this year. And in my opinion, I didn't think that this would be a possibility until I saw Jake Cronenworth do this at shortstop a few days ago. Honestly, the Padres have so many pieces that they could make this happen for the remainder of 2021. I'm not saying that Fernando Tatis shouldn't ever be a shortstop for the rest of his career, but if they just place him in left and limit the damage, that would honestly be smart. But anyways, we'll break that down in just a moment. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. If this is your first time on the channel, we do this every single day, so don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button as well as save yourself 20 bucks off. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek if you're going to any minor league games, big league games, or concerts anytime soon. So we're going to talk about an injury update on Gleyber Torres. We're also going to break down Fernando Tatis Jr. possibly moving to the outfield, as well as the White Sox. Eloy Jimenez did something for the first time in Chicago history, and also in the Cleveland game, a guy that you wouldn't expect hit a home run almost 480 feet. So today's recap is going to be a lot of fun. But first and foremost, if you're a Yankees fan, this is probably no surprise to you, understanding that a Yankees player is going on the injured list, whether it's because he got sick or because he got injured. Now, I don't know the raw stats, but I feel like the Yankees have had the most injuries throughout the entirety of the 2021 season. So another one to add to the list, Gleyber Torres, he is going to be out with a thumb sprain. He was sliding into second base on a stolen base attempt, and unfortunately, he got his hand kind of stuck and he sprained his thumb. Now let's go ahead and break down the Yankees versus the Royals yesterday. Luke Voit, he drives in an RBI. Luke Voit has been sensational ever since he was activated from the IL. He drives in Joey Gallo, and apparently no one in New York knew that Joey Gallo was a supreme athlete. He's an elite defender, and he moves pretty well on the bases for a guy that's 6'5", 6'6", but it's understandable because he was playing for Texas. So now that they're seeing him every single day, they realize that, yes, he's going to strike out a lot, but he brings a lot to the table. Either way, both starting pitchers were on top of their games yesterday. We have Jameson Taillon going 6 innings. He allows 1 run, but it was unearned. Carlos Hernandez has been a star over the last 20-ish innings. Yesterday, he goes 6 2/3, only allowing 1 earned run, but he's only allowed 2 in his last 17 2/3 innings pitch. Aaron Boone, later on in the game, he does get ejected after Jonathan Lasagna was called on a balk, and Aaron Boone was not having it, and I don't think he wanted any part of that game. He was trying to rally the troops, and it looked like it worked because Aaron Judge, he drives in a clutch RBI in the 8th. Then Andrew Benintendi ties it up. Then Luke Voit unties it. Then Nicky Lopez ties it up yet again as New York, they eventually win in 11 innings. I think this was the first time in history that both teams scored a run in the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th inning. I think that was the first time ever. So the Yankees, they are now just 2 games back of the wild card, and they're 8-2 in their last 10 games. Honestly, even though Joey Gallo is striking out a lot, he has been a solid contributor. And Anthony Rizzo, I know he's on the shelf right now, but those 2 guys have really turned around the season for the New York Yankees. So as you guys can see, Fernando Tatis Jr. is in fact taking some outfield practice, and maybe he's doing this for conditioning. He said that in an interview, so that could very well be a possibility. But if I'm thinking about the long-term health of Fernando Tatis Jr., as well as making the World Series in 2021, I would seriously consider telling Fernando Tatis, hey, keep it cool on the bases. We don't need a 40-40 season from you. And also, we're going to move you to left field to try and limit the opportunities for you to injure that shoulder. Don't be diving or anything like that. We're going to get into the playoffs if you are just playing like your normal self. Now, let's go ahead and break down the Padres versus the Marlins. Joe Musgrove, he gives up a run early, and that was it. Eric Hosmer, his buddy, he has been red hot over the last 15 games. He has a .356 batting average. He came in clutch yesterday as Manny Machado and Victor Caratini, they make it 3-1, and Musgrove, he drives in a run on a sacrifice fly. So at that point, the score is 4-1. Joe Musgrove, he is carving people up. And then Lewis Brinson, who has been really good over the last 3 weeks, he hits a 2-run shot and all of a sudden has a 774 OPS. That is by far the best of his career. Now, it's not elite by any measures, but considering the ceiling that Lewis Brinson was supposed to have, this is a good sign for Marlins fans because they're going to be pretty good in the next few years. And if he can be a contributor, that is just going to be the cherry on top. Eric Hosmer drives in another RBI, and Trent Grisham drives in 2 on a triple. So San Diego is now on a 3-game winning streak. They're 65-49. I mean, if they were in the NL East, they would be in first place by far. The White Sox destroyed the Minnesota Twins yesterday. Luis Robert was back in action, and I do want to show the fact that he has a new stance, but we'll talk about that later on. Tim Anderson, he has been really good the last 7 games. He has 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, and is almost hitting 400 in his last 7. Eloy Jimenez hits a bomb in the first inning and then adds a second home run later on in the game. So he becomes the first player in White Sox history to have back-to-back games with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs, which, I mean, he is just so good. He has easy pop. It doesn't even look like he is swinging full strength, but he is, and the ball goes very far. Luis Robert, as we can see, he has a more open batting stance, so he's trying to limit the strikeouts and actually put the ball in play more often, and it worked yesterday on an RBI double in the 5th inning, and Lucas Giolito was pitching angry yesterday. He was almost like Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, where he was trying to control his anger, and yesterday it worked. He goes 8 innings on 8 strikeouts, 0 walks, only allows 2 hits, and Moncada, he adds some insurance run even though they didn't need it because they win by a score of 11-1. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I see about 11 teams that can make a push for the World Series. The White Sox, the Dodgers, the Giants, the Brewers, the Red Sox, even though they've been playing like absolute butt, they're getting Chris Sale back. I mean, again, baseball's in a very good spot. There are so many teams that are really good right now, and as a Cleveland fan, it's terrifying because I see the White Sox being good for the next decade. Now, speaking of Cleveland, yesterday they were facing off against a fellow Ohio team, the Cincinnati Reds, and the Reds have been playing really well. Franmil, he starts off the game with an RBI in the first, and then Wilson Ramos, I know that he is not the best catcher in the world, but he is exciting as an offensive piece when you're used to Austin Hedges and Roberto Perez, so defensively, he's not going to be good, but I like this move in my opinion. He hits a 2-run off of Taco. J-Ram, Jose Ramirez, drives in an RBI on a triple in the 3rd, and then Ahmed Rosario triples in the 4th. He is tied for the #1 spot in all of baseball for 4-hit games in 2021. So I know we let go of Francisco Lindor, but Ahmed Rosario, he has been fairly good in trying to replace him defensively, not even close, but offensively, I think they've been about the same this year. J-Ram follows that triple up with a home run. That was number 25. He also has 13 stolen bases and an 880 OPS, having yet another MVP campaign. Bradley Zimmer, this one goes to a place that really only Jim Thome has ever gone, 471 feet, and over his last 30 games, Bradley Zimmer has a 364 batting average, and Cleveland has won 2 games in a row. This could very well be hyperbole. This could be me being dramatic, but honestly, we haven't even called up Nolan Jones or Tyler Freeman. We haven't had Shane Bieber and Aaron Savali for the last 2 months. Cleveland is playing some good baseball without Francisco Lindor and some of their top prospects as well as top pitchers. I like this team going forward. I think that they're going to be good, even though the White Sox are much improved. Cleveland versus Chicago for the next 5 to 6 years, in my opinion, is going to be a lot of fun to watch. That actually does it for the highlights from yesterday, so let's go ahead and talk about the leaders in statistics across the league. Batting average, we have Michael Brantley still leading the pack with a 329 average. You have Gurriel. Wow, so 2 Astros are leading the pack. Trey Turner, Cedric Mullins, and Nick Castellanos. In terms of home runs, Shohei, yes, he's kind of died down a little bit, but he still has 37. He's actually going up against Vlad Jr. in 2 days on Thursday. Then you have Tatis, Matt Olson, and Salvi. In terms of pitching, wins, we have Hendricks, Julio. Actually, I don't really care about wins, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. ERA, Lance Lynn is leading the pack with a 2.04 ERA, followed by Walker Buehler, Freddie Peralta, who has a 3.9 hits per 9 or something insane like that, Brandon Woodruff, and Kevin Gausman. I really miss Jacob deGrom. RBIs, we have Vlad Jr., Jose Abreu, Devers, Ohtani, and Jesus Aguilar. We have hits, Adam Frazier, David Fletcher. Ooh, David Fletcher, he was horrible to begin the season, so he has been red hot the last 2 or 3 months. We have Mullins, Bo Bichette, who is having an MVP caliber season, but no one's talking about it. Trey Turner. Moving on over to the saves, Mark Melancon is easily ahead of anyone else. The number 2 spot is Liam Hendricks with 26, followed by Reyes, Barnes, and Iglesias. Strikeouts, wow, Zach Wheeler is almost at 200, followed by Garrett Cole, Rodon, Brandon Woodruff, and Robbie Ray as the number 5. Good for him. And then last but not least, stolen base leaders, we have Whit Merrifield, Starlin Marte. He has been a machine for the A's, so I feel like he is going to overtake Whit pretty soon as he's just getting on base more often. Tatis with 23, Trey Turner, and then Cedric Mullins just joined the 2020 club, but he has 21 stolen bases, so he's having an MVP caliber year too. All right, everyone, well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Again, use code Fuzzy if you're going to any outside events. Save yourself 20 bucks off. Thank you all so much for watching, and enjoy this day in MLB history.
In the rotation against San Diego. Done to center field. Forget it. That's going to be long gone, done and gone. That's long time out of here. Number 35, Chris, is one of his longest of the year.